Yo, I'll be ballin' like my brother Mo. Alright, Wagwan people, you know the vibes, you hear the rhythm, you know what it is. It's your boy Mo, aka the Hoop Genius, and today, well, coronavirus has locked off the whole world. I can't get out to the States to chop it up with my peoples. So instead, I'm bringing you the content via bucket time. It's FaceTime, but it's buckets. We're talking buckets on the FaceTime, so it's bucket time for you guys. I'm going to be chopping it up with the people from the world of the NBA, the conversations that you need to hear. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button right now, because we're on the road to 3K. We're almost there. The road to 10K is the mission. We're starting small. The road to 3K has started now. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and tune into Sky Sports for all of the live NBA action you need. Because without further ado, I'm not going to do no more of an intro. This is my conversation with my brother, Mo Bamba. What's going on, people? It's the moment you've all been waiting for. They're calling it the Mo Down. They're calling it a Movidose because your boy Mo, aka the Hoop Genius, is joined by another dope baller called Mo. It's Mr. Mo Bamba. Mo, how are you doing, bro?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you, man. I can't complain. Now, we're just going to run through a few questions or whatnot, but first and foremost, more importantly than anything, how are you doing health-wise? Because we've heard a few things about, the coronavirus going around, and you had some of the symptoms at the start. What's the situation like with yourself, and how are you coping with that now?
Yeah, I'm COVID-free. I know there was a lot of speculation between me being a long haul of COVID, but that is simply just not the case. I had it back in June. I went through like a 2-week period where I self-quarantined at home, and I got over it. And, it hasn't been easy since. It was a constant battle of, trying to get my conditioning back into elite shape again. But definitely trending in the right direction, although there is still some more work to do.
I'd love to hear that you've recovered, my man. That's a blessing in itself. And can you give a little bit of insight into, because I think a lot of people, they might not be taking this as seriously. What were some of the effects that you kind of had? And when you were trying to work your way back in the weight room and doing strength and conditioning work and on the court, how did that affect you at first? And what did you have to kind of go through to get back to the shape you're currently in?
Yeah, it's a very serious, sickness or disease or whatever, people call it. But it affected me greatly. It's just a matter of trying to get back in shape and starting from square one over and over again. But I put in my mind the mindset of, it's not going to be easy. It's a little bit of adversity, but, I'll get through it. And every day I just chip at it a little bit more and more. And it's getting there.
I know you're putting in crazy amounts of work on the court, in the weight room or whatever. And I know you spent some time talking to, one of the people I look up to, and I know he's been an idol of yours, Kevin Garnett. What was the biggest takeaway and piece of advice that he gave you that you really hold on to as you go through your training?
It wasn't even what he said. It's just how he said it and how he kind of went about things. If you look at his career, you just see how intense he was as not only a competitor, but as a teammate and as just a person. And that a lot of that I looked at and I try to internalize and take in for myself. But it was definitely not necessarily what he said. It was just how he said things.
I hear you, man. Now, if we look at KG, he was kind of one of the first, in my opinion, what they call kind of unicorns in the NBA. The big man that can put the ball on the floor, can shoot from outside. And I think a lot of people sleep on your perimeter shooting ability. What are you trying to add to your game, and what are you trying to do to take yourself to the next step? Because, the league is so competitive right now and there's so many great big men coming through. What are you trying to do to separate yourself?
Absolutely. I think one thing that'll help me separate myself most is being a master of our team game. Just knowing, where to be, when to be, just mastering the X and O's and just building that gamesmanship with my teammates.
What does it look like for you then in this kind of pandemic world that we've been in? Because, obviously without being able to access the training facilities how you usually would in the regular way, and team practices being canceled and rescheduled, what does your day-to-day, if you've got a day to yourself, what does your training look like? Is it 1 a day, 2 a day? What are you doing to put in the work?
Well, back in quarantine, I was doing 2 a days. I was doing one lift that probably went on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. I would rest, eat, and then I'd head over to a little private gym that I was so fortunate to, be able to use. And I would just shoot and work on different low post stuff for about an hour and a half as well. and this was pretty much every day. But the biggest focus to me over quarantine was my diet. Just making sure I'm putting the right things into my body, and I wanted to not necessarily reinvent myself, but I wanted to come out of it a different person.
Have you jumped on the NBA trend of going vegan, or are you just being more careful with the diet just in general?
I'm just being more careful with the diet. I tried vegan for a week, and I just gotta have my steaks, and I gotta have my chicken and my fish. But I'll try it again. I'll try it again eventually.
I'm a big fella like you, man. I know how essential that the meats and the fish are to the diet, bro. You ain't gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
I want to go through with you right now what we like to do on the show, and it's what we call the way too early season prediction. So I want to know from you which teams are going to be in the NBA Finals and who's going to be the champions, and also MVP, Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year.
Man, I could probably do the individual stuff probably a little bit better than I can do the team stuff, because somewhat like the bubble, we're going through another season where things are different. Some people factor in the fans not being there as a big thing, and some people don't, but I'm a believer that sometimes the fans do kind of help boost adrenaline, boost team ego and everything. So it's hard to say who's going to be in the finals, and there's a lot of movement within the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference of great players, so it's hard to really tell. But as far as Rookie of the Year, my take on Rookie of the Year is Cole Anthony. This is a guy.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah. This is a guy that I knew since I was a junior in high school. Just took him under the wing, and been a real big mentor, big brother figure for him ever since. And just watching him blossom and grow into this great player. It's hard to pick anyone else as someone else as the Rookie of the Year. For MVP, I think it can go a lot of different ways. I saw in the blogs that Paul George was really motivated coming into this season. I know he had a MVP candidacy type of season a few years back, so I wouldn't put anything past him. I think AD can come on to he's already a superstar, but I think he can, take his game to another level. But another guy who I want to give a shout out to is Luka Doncic. We're in the same year, and he's been doing things at a very high level. And I'm interested to see how he responds after a really big second year.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And what about Defensive Player of the Year? Because I know you're a prolific shot blocker in yourself, but who are you looking at to take that defensive crown?
Absolutely. I would love to take that leap into becoming a real big defensive anchor for not only, myself and the personal accolades, but just for my team, just building that trust in my teammates that, I got Mo behind me to not only cleaning things up at the rim, but I got them, calling out coverages, calling out their plays, and just being that KG type of dude on defense. But as far as Defensive Player of the Year, I wish my teammate Jonathan Isaac was suiting up this year. I would have him, but there's a lot of rim protectors out there. I saw that AG and Giannis were up there for DPOYs. And who was the third one? Rudy Gobert is always a favorite to get it. But I don't really have a real answer for who I think is going to win that.
Yeah, man, I've got all the faith in you to be able to make that leap when you get back onto the court, man. I'm backing you as well. But one more question is, I don't know if you've ever been to London before, but if you came to London anytime over the past 2-3 years, I guess now maybe, if you stepped into any club, I'd be in the club, and because obviously my name's Mo, but it's the song named after you. And when I step in the club and they're playing it, everyone looks for me. And I'm sure it's even more crazy for you because it's your tune. It's named after you. What was that experience like?
That song is named after you.
Nah, bro, but that song really blew up, and then you came into the league. And so now I remember seeing clips of you warming up before games, and the song is just playing in every arena, even in away arenas. You've got away crowds vibing, listening to a song about you. What was that experience like to have? Because most players, they've got to really become an MVP or become an all-star that. But you had that done for you. The song was named after you. when you were
Yeah.
coming out of college. So,
Yeah.
and I think you heard it when you were in high school, in fact. So it might have been
The song was sent to me when I was in high school, and initially no one really. It's not that no one liked it, but no one, it wasn't a banger yet. People didn't really know. But I used to always play in the weight room, always played everywhere. And then in college, people started to slowly catch on to it. And then by the time I got drafted, it was a hit. But it's a great feeling, it's a whole nother fan base of its own that you kind of get from, the Travis Scott fans and obviously the Sheck Wes fans. And they're all like huge supporters of me as a basketball player.
So my last question for you then is, what are your top 3 pre-game songs that you listen to before a game to get yourself in the zone? And is Mo Bamba one of those songs?
I'm not really big on music before the games. I'm more into game film and playbook and everything and tendencies and percentages. But it would definitely be in my playlist if I was a music guy.
Yeah, man, I love the dedication. I know that's a very KG mentality to have. So I'm wishing you all the best as you recover and get back on the court, and all the best for the upcoming season. Thank you for your time, my brother.
Thank you so much, Mo.
Appreciate you, man.